The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation. Make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels. Operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, Black Eagle Fire Department, Montana, on your new Pierce fire apparatus, job number 36790. Please utilize this 5-digit job number when referencing your apparatus with Hughes Fire Equipment and Pierce Manufacturing. We'll get started on a brief orientation. Starting just under the front bumper, you'll find 2 open-ended tow hooks. Moving up onto the face of the bumper on the passenger side is where you'll find your unit identifier. Moving over to the driver's side, you'll find recessed in the bumper is your electronic siren and PA speaker. As we move up onto the bumper extension, you'll find a swivel discharge on the passenger side. Directly in the center of the bumper extension is where you'll find a tubbed storage location for your hose. Moving up to the cab, you'll find your headlight housing low and high beam and turn indicator. Just inside that location in the center of the grille, you'll find the Pierce logo and also forward-facing emergency warning lights. Directly above the Freightliner logo is where you'll find the grab handle for tilting the hood. Moving to the outer edge, you'll find a flat and convex mirror. Moving up to the brow, you'll find 5 clearance lights across the roof of the apparatus. Located also within this area is your Opticom, located in the center. At the very top, you'll find your emergency warning light bar. Let's go ahead and take a look at some close-ups of those items that we just talked about. First, let's start just under the front bumper with the 2 tow hooks that are open-ended. Moving now up to the recessed siren and PA speaker. Moving into the tubbed storage location, dry deck material and Velcro tie-downs, and to the headlight structure housing low and high beam headlights, turn indicator. In the grille area, you'll find your emergency warning light forward facing. As we move up to the roof of the apparatus, you'll find the Opticom in the very center, and then also just above that, emergency warning light bar. Let's move around now to the driver's side, where you'll find the engine air intake. Just beneath this area is where you'll find the marker turn indicator light. And then as we move to the very bottom where the front axle is located, you'll find Alcoa wheels and then also your tire. These are Michelin tires. Moving now to the back of the hood area is where you'll find the manual release passenger and driver side for the hood. As we move to the silver tank, this is your ultra low sulfur diesel fill location. The blue cap is going to be your DEF fill location. Let's move to the cab now, where you'll find your department logo. As we move to the grab handle, right next to it is the door latch lock. Moving now up to the mirror, upper portion is flat, lower portion is convex. And as we move inside, you'll find on the door panel a fixed to door panel safety and warning placard information, door lock and latch, and window control. Let's move from this location to the floor area, where you'll find your master battery disconnect. Also at the base of the seat, you'll find this yellow placard from the manufacturer indicating the date of manufacture, 5-digit job number, gross vehicle weight rating, and cold tire inflation. You'll also find the VIN number, all of the fluid capacities for each component, and then also fluid types and amounts. Let's move just to the base of the seat area, where you'll find comfort control for your air ride seat and also front to back. Moving now to the dash, you have a keyed ignition down on the lower left side. As we move up to the very top, you'll find this black placard indicating the height, length, and gross vehicle weight rating of your vehicle. You also have vehicle controls here located for cruise control, also headlight, and increase and decrease for lights within preview of the operator. At the left, you'll find the oil pressure, water temp, and transmission. On the right, you'll find front and rear air, DEF level, and then also fuel level. In the center, tach and speedometer. Diagnostic information displays above the speedometer and the tachometer. As we move to the right of the dash area, you'll find the air filter minder. This is an indicator for your air filter. Also, the Allison transmission digital push button transmission shifter. Moving to the right, you'll find tally lights indicating information that requires your attention.
Just to the right, you'll find the yellow diamond, which is pull to apply your system parking brake and push to release. Just to the right of that location, you'll find pump controls. Moving further to the right, you'll find a digital readout regarding engine information and seatbelt information. As we move further down, you'll find transmission and also your regen information, switches. And then moving further to the right, you'll find the Pierce seatbelt information, red indicating someone is in the seat and not belted, green in the seat and belted. As we move down, you'll find climate control, and then just beneath that, you'll find power outlets and then also window and door lock controls. Let's move to the center console where you'll find additional map book storage location. As we move overhead of the operator and also the passenger location, you'll find additional storage. In the very center, we have a switch panel housing a variety of switches, including your emergency master, opticom, tire chains, and rear scene lights, left and right scene, and then also future switch locations. To the right of that, you'll find your siren control module and also PA speaker. As we look to the rear, you'll find 3 forward-facing rear seats. They do house Scba brackets for your bottles. Moving now outside to the rear compartment area, this is the steps going inside, and then you'll find LED step lights for each of those steps for safety. On the door panel, safety and warning placard information. As we move inside, a grab handle, and then at the very base of those seats, you'll also find additional storage location. As we move to the ceiling area of the rear section of the cab, you'll also find push on and off white lens lights. And now let's go ahead and move exterior now to the pump panel area. We'll start at the very bottom section of the pump panel, just under the running board. These are going to be all of your drain control manufacturers for your foam system, and then also manifold. As we move up general view here in this section, let's start first on the left with your auto disconnect. This is the shoreline inlet, 20 amp auto eject plug, and then also a shoreline inlet air. We do have a minimum operation maintenance schedule for your vehicle. This is the placard indicating that. And then just underneath that, the driver's side auxiliary inlet, 2.5 inch ball valve, locally controlled female. As we move up, you'll find color-coded and labeled discharge drains. As we move just to the right, you'll find a pan door. This is going to be for your foam fill operations. On the back of the pan door, you'll find operation and fill information regarding the valve located just inside. Let's move back down to the right where you'll find this warning label regarding foam failure. Do not mix different brands or consistencies of foam for the possibility of foam failure. Just beneath that, you have a pump drain. This is the main pump drain. And to the right, you'll find your foam lever for draft and tank, and also a fill location. As we move up, American flag, Eagle, Pierce logo, large diameter, pump inlet. Moving now, we have a few more warning labels I'd like to point out. First, let's start with pressure hazard. Caps may be under pressure. Be cautious when opening them. We have your wattress placard here indicating the type of pump that you have. And then also, once again, minimum operation maintenance schedule. Let's go back up to that maintenance warning placard here regarding pressure hazard. This is indicating that caps may be under pressure. Also, a wattress placard indicating the capacity, 1,500 GPM. As we move further down, you'll find a warning regarding entanglement hazard. Because the line's coming from aloft, there's the possibility of entanglement. Color-coded and labeled discharges. This is 1, 2, and 3. Also your engine cooler, which is a twist, not a pull. As we move further down, you'll find the fire pump primer. This is a push to prime, air prime. And then as we move to the right, the large diameter passenger side discharge. You'll also find the tank to pump located on this side. Let's move up from this location. This is where you're going to find all of the color-coded and labeled discharge drains in an easy and simple layout. Let's first start on the left. You have front discharge, number 1 and number 2. You can see the red indicating that they are foam-capable discharges. Deluge discharge, and then passenger side 2.5 inch, also foam-capable. As we move to the right, you'll find the gauge heater. It's thermostatically controlled, and also your discharges for your reels. As we move to the very top, you'll find your master pump discharge and master pump intake. To the right, you'll find an audible speaker. The outer edge of that bezel does allow you to dampen the sound. Also, you'll find your water tank level indicator in the blue area, blue module. And then just beneath that, you'll find the vacuum and pressure test gauge ports. They're currently plugged, and these are utilized for testing purposes. As we move to the green indicator OK to pump, this is from activation from the cab indicating that you can engage your pump. Let's talk a little bit about the pump boss. In the upper left-hand corner, you have a check engine light. If illuminated, it would be yellow in color. A digital readout regarding the RPM. To the right, you'll have a stop engine. If illuminated, it would be red in color. The blue menu button allowing you to scroll through the various menu functions, and then also diagnostic engine information. Silence button allowing you to silence any audible alarms. As we move to the left, you'll find 2 pressure or RPM. They're the 2 yellow options, and then also a digital readout. To the right, throttle ready indicator, preset in green, indicating to preset either pressure or throttle positions. The right to increase or left to decrease throttle, and push in the center for idle. As we move further to the right, you'll find panel lights, left scene lights, and right scene lights, and then also your pump heater. 2 additional switch options located here for future action. As we move to the right, you'll find the foam level indicator and Husky 3 foam system. There are operating instructions on the placard and the module itself. As we move to the vertical side sheet here of the body, it's also where you're going to find additional information regarding your Husky 3 foam system, specification, and operating instructions. Also, minimum operation maintenance schedule for 150, 200, and 250 test pressures. We'll now move to the body section. At the very top, you'll find a side-facing scene light. As we move down into the first compartment, you'll find at the top section your battery charger. When plugged into Shoreline Power, this device will become active, maintaining battery. As we move down, you'll find Scba bottle storage location in this area. This is just in front of the rear axle. Also, just inside this area, you'll find a retaining strap for that Scba bottle. As we move directly over the rear axle, you'll find a toolboard storage. D-handle gains you access to the rear side, and then the latch here in the back will lock into position, allowing it to maintain its position. You will need to release to put it back to its original position. Also, you'll find a Shoreline outlet plug located in here. This is an outlet. And then also just to the front of the axle, or rear of the axle, you'll find an additional Scba bottle storage. Once again, Michelin tires and Alcoa wheels. As we move down to the rear compartment, adjustable shelving, LED lighting. As we move down to the very bottom section, you have a pull-out tray. The release mechanism is located on the lower right-hand side of the tray. Let's move around to the rear of the apparatus where you'll find your stop, turn, and reverse light. Just underneath that, emergency warning light. Additional step lights are located on the right and left side of the ladder area. As we move up, we do have some cup switches. This is your hose bed lights. This will activate the hose bed lights. Moving up from this location, additional lighting for steps. And now as we move to the rear section, we do have some additional warning placards. I would like to point out warning regarding entanglement hazard. Because of those lines coming from the loft, there is the possibility of entanglement. Also warning hazard, never ride on the vehicle while it's in motion. Also, when climbing onto the vehicle, always face the vehicle while climbing on or off the vehicle. As we move to the very top section, you'll find an emergency warning light rear facing. Let's take a look at the hose bed area where you'll find additional storage location and dividers. As we move from the right to the left, you'll find the 2 black modules in the very front. That's your water tank and then also foam tank. We'll cover those in a moment. You also have a discharge located in the upper portion of the rear of the apparatus. As we move to the rear compartments, you'll find an adjustable shelf, a through compartment, and then also a pull-out tray. Once again, release located on the lower right-hand side for that tray. Let's move back up to the very top. Just above the Pierce logo is where you'll find your 3 identifier lights. These are for your clearance ID lights. Also to the right, you'll find your license plate holder and also emergency warning light. Also stop, turn, and reverse lights. As we move up from this location, this is where you're going to find your pan door. D-handle gains you access to where your ladders are located. Inside that compartment is where you're going to find a 24-foot roof or 24-foot extension ladder and a 14-foot roof. Also 10-foot attic and also long-handled tool storage. Let's move around now to the passenger side of the vehicle. We'll start in the very rear. Let's start at the very top with a side-facing emergency warning light. As we move inside the compartment, once again, adjustable shelves, and then also at the very bottom section, a pull-out tray. Once again, release located on the lower right-hand side. As you move up to the very top of this compartment, you'll find when plugged into shoreline power, this outlet will become active. Let's move just to the rear of the axle. This is where you're going to find an Scba bottle storage location and then also a warning light. As we look inside the bottle storage, you'll find retaining strap for your Scba bottle. Once again, as we move to the rear axle, you'll find Michelin tires and then also Alcoa wheel. Moving back up to the center section, tool board, D-handle gains you access to the rear section of the tool board. And once again, there is a lock on the rear section of that tool board. To release, simply lift upward and then restore back to its original position. As we move to the forward section, you'll find an additional Scba bottle storage location, retaining strap also within this area. Just beneath this area, I would like to point out a warning placard, extremely important. This is extremely hot diesel exhaust temperatures do exist, and be cautious where you park your vehicle. As we move forward to that location, next compartment, roll-up compartment door, LED lighting, and adjustable shelving. As we move just to the underside, your pump is fully enclosed. Moving further up, you'll find all of our color-coded and labeled discharge drains, and then also a warning placard. Only trained personnel should operate this piece of equipment only after proper training. Passenger side, main inlet, it's the Pierce American Flag Eagle. As we move also, you'll find a pan door for gaining access. This is going to be the location for your relief valve, which is adjustable. Then as we move forward to this location, you're going to find a large diameter discharge. It's the green label. Then also some warning placard information regarding pressure hazard because of the discharges located on this side. As we move forward to that location, you'll find a 2.5-inch passenger side discharge, and then also an additional pan door for gaining access behind or into the pump area. You'll also find a switch here regarding the reel rewind. Let's go ahead and take a look inside that pan door area so we can gain access into the pump panel. You can see the front section of your 24-foot and roof ladder. And then as we move forward, your crosslay here with additional netting. Let's move just above this location, the pump panel, where you'll find the location where your booster line will retract and deploy. As we move to the step area, you'll find rear steps for the rear cab, and then also all of those steps do have LED lighting for gaining access for visualization of those steps. As we move to the rear cab, you'll find a grab handle and also door lock and latch, keyed entry. Once again, reminder, all safety warning and placard information are located on the door panel. As we move inside, same configuration as you have on the passenger side. This is just additional pictures. We have additional storage underneath each one of those seats at the rear. Also, each of those 3 seats do house your Scba in the backrest area. Let's go ahead and move exterior now to the front cab section. Same thing, step with LED lighting illuminating each of those steps. As we move to the door panel, you'll find safety and warning placard information on the door panel, grab handle, lock, latch, and window control. As we move just inside the cab area, you'll find the grab handle located on the left-hand side. Moving inside overhead of the officer position, you'll find an additional storage location. Let's take a look at the exterior with your logo, Black Eagle Volunteer Fire Department. As we move forward to that location, window and also mirror, flat and convex mirror on the passenger side, Alcoa wheel, once again, Michelin tires. As we move to the fender area, the rear of the fender is where you'll find the manual latch for tilting the hood. You'll also find on the top of the fender your turn indicator lamp, and then also just forward of that location, emergency warning light. Also headlight structure housing low and high beam headlights, and also your turn indicator. As we move to the front bumper extension, you'll find the number 321, that is your unit identifier, and then also a swivel discharge on the top. Congratulations, Eagle Creek Fire Department, Montana, on your new Pierce fire apparatus, job number 36790. Please utilize this number when accessing information regarding your vehicle with used fire equipment. Congratulations. Thank you.